Hello, viewers. I'm back again for my next episode, which I had promised you last time before we ended the last one that we should talk about my next film, which is Lovebirds. Lovebirds is a film which I think it was, if I remember correctly, my uh, second last film in terms of dubbing South films because after that there's another story about my Hollywood venture which I went into, which is very interesting again, which we'll talk about. Uh, Lovebirds was actually produced. It was a, you see, with the success of Prabhu Deva Nagma combination with Mukabla and the song and the hype that created and took the complete nation by storm, everybody was running to cast Prabhu Deva and Nagma into a film. And this friend of mine, not friend, my partners Ram and Babu Nagpal, who are my connection with the South films, and because of whom I got into Apu Raja and into dubbing films. His brother-in-law was producing a film uh, and called Lovebirds, and he had cast Prabhu Deva and Nagma uh, into the film, and he was making a very big budget film. And he had got music of A.R. Rahman, and A.R. Rahman, as you all know, had become a legend, some kind of a legend even at that age, after the success of his films Roja and others which happened. Uh, Lovebirds, when they came to me by that time from my starting Apu Raja, which was at, like I said, we bought for only about 30 lakhs or so. The prices kept increasing. And this was basically my most expensive film which I bought for dubbing. I think it was, I don't remember now, it's been so many years, must be about a crore 25 or something like that, which I had paid for it for the dubbing rights or the Hindi rights. Uh, we concluded that deal very easily because it was like family. It was Ram's brother-in-law, so we did the thing and said, let's do it. Okay, we'll do it. And this film was on the floors at that time. So we did the deal, and the main reason why I did the deal was because the music was of A.R. Rahman, and Rahman had become a rage by then. So when I came back and signed the film, I got a call from my friend Mr. Vijay Lazarus, who was heading the Universal Music, earlier called Polydor, and he said he immediately called me up. He said, Rajan, I believe you've signed up for Lovebirds. Please come and meet me. I said, fine. So I met him. I had known Vijay Lazarus, a very nice person, and I met him in his office at Sterling Center at Worli, and and we had a chat. He said, Rajan, I want to buy the music of Lovebirds. I said, don't you want to hear the songs or don't you want to listen to it because before you buy the product, don't you want to hear it? He said, no, no, no. By the way, he is the one who had bought Bombay music and he made a killing in the music of Bombay, which was by Rahman, as we all know. And he said, I want to buy the film. I said, okay. So he says, what's the price that you want to buy it at? So I told him, I said, you know what, I know the price at what you paid for Bombay, and my price would be close to about a crore of rupees. So he was taken aback. He says, 1 crore for the music? In those days, that was, I think, one of the biggest amounts that was ever paid for music. So I said, yes, 1 crore, take it or leave it. He says, okay, okay, fine, done, deal for 1 crore. We signed the papers. He gave me a deposit, advance check, or whatever the procedure was. And we signed up for Lovebirds. Now, a very interesting thing happened. Uh, the movie was ready. It was released in Tamil and it didn't do very well. The music, though it was full of action and with the star cast of Prabhudeva, Nagma, and Rahman music and all that pizzazz which happened. The film didn't do well in the Tamil market. So when I heard that the Tamil version has not done well, I went back to my drawing board and I talked to the producer, I talked to Ram, I said, this movie is not done well and what do we do? He said, we have committed and we have to buy the film. So I said, okay. So we dubbed the film and we slated the release for it. And the film released, but when I went before the film release, I had to get my payment from Mr. Vijay Lazarus for the film. And he completely backed out of the deal in the sense that the film has tanked and the music has not done very well, so I don't think I will be able to pay you this full amount. So I said, it's been so many years now I can talk about it because the water has gone over the bridge, but I think it's something that we need to talk about and know. And he says, no, can we work out, how it happens when things don't happen well or the film doesn't do well or the distributor loses money. You kind of sit down and make out and try to see that he recovers his losses in his next film or you give him a discount on the committed price. Now I told him, I said, what is it that you want? He says, according to the rules and the agreement, which was, the fine letters, and if you read between the lines, the music director has to give you the DAT of the film. Now the DAT is the data analysis. That's the actual intellectual right. The DAT is which is the property of the music director, which he gives to you, which a lot of people probably don't know about. And so he says, you know what? I don't think I can pay you. You need to give me the DAT of the film, of the music, and only then I can consider paying you. And he knew it that Rahman would not part with the DAT of the film because he never did with any of his projects. So I went back and I called up Rahman. In the meantime, I had got to know him because we were releasing the film's music. We did a very big show in Rhythm House at Kalagoda. At that time, Rhythm House was the largest music store in Bombay. And we had a midnight release. And in the parking lot, we had made a very big stage and dancers and stuff like that. And I remember taking Prabhudeva, Nagma, and Rahman. You will see the pictures of Rahman at that time and you won't recognize him probably. He looks like a 16-year-old kid. And he was there, very quiet, very somber person, very, very nice, humble, courteous person. And Prabhudeva, of course, was very, very nice. So in those days, I was having my vanity van, which is now very popular. I was one of the first to have the vanity van. So I picked them up from the hotel and I took them all in my vanity van. And then we all drove to Kalagoda for the release. And I kept a midnight release, and I kept the Rhythm House open that night for people to come and buy the cassettes of the film signed by Prabhudeva and Rahman. So we did a big show about it, a big publicity glitz about it, and we had these dancers on stage dancing and all that, and we released the music of the film. And there are pictures of Prabhudeva and Rahman standing there signing the audio cassettes and the CDs and whatever it is. And we did a big show and released the music. Coming back to this whole thing, back to Vijay Lazarus and Universal Music, I somehow told him, I asked Rahman, I said, Rahman, this is the situation that he's not paying me my money for this film. And Rahman told me that, you know what, he tried to kind of short sell us even for Bombay. Because when Universal Music had Bombay, he created the same problem of not paying the full amount to the producer of the film, which was Jammu Sugandh and ABCL. He said, you know what, this person is not really a good businessman or whatever you call it. I have never done and given the dat of this film to anybody, but for you, I will do this and I will give you the dat of the film because I want to teach this person a lesson. And he sent me the dat. And I was absolutely dumbfounded, and for that, I am always in debt and great respect for the man of his stature today and whatever he is today. But I'm talking of the old days of the 95s when he was also coming up. So I got the dat of the film, of the music, and I gave it to him. And his face fell like nobody. He said, "You got the dat from Rahman? From A.R. Rahman?" I said, "Yes. Now tell me, what is the story?" And he couldn't say anything. But he still tried to haggle and get out of the deal. So I told him, I said, "Listen, Mr. Lazarus, the situation is that if you don't give me this money, I will go public on this and I will hold a press conference because Universal Music belongs to Universal in Hollywood." And I said, "I will write to your CEOs and hold a press conference and tell them the story about what you are trying to do with me and not pay me my money." That again shook him up whether I would call his bluff or call my bluff or not. But eventually, when I said I'm going in for the press conference one day, he came to my office I remember in ITL House, I had a huge 20,000 square feet office my office on the second floor, big 9,000 square feet, huge place, and a big reception. And suddenly I get a call that there is a gentleman called Mr. Lazarus who's come to see you. I said, "Mr. Vijay Lazarus?" He says, "Yes." He said, "Please ask him to wait." I kept him waiting there for like half an hour or 45 minutes, a little bit. And I started thinking, what would my strategy be and why is he come? So finally, when he came up and saw me, and he had never been to my office because obviously I used to go to his office. And he said, "Rajan, what, we are friends, let's forget the old things and let's settle this issue amicably and stuff like that. Don't have a press conference, don't do all this." I said, "Vijay, the thing is that I'm a businessman and I stick by my word. I believe in handshakes, I don't believe in agreements. Find a solution and see how we can settle this amicably." So he says, "Okay, let's do one thing. I'll give you some PDC checks, post-dated checks." And I said, "I don't need part, I need the full amount." And he says, "I will give you the full amount, but I'll stagger the payments and everything." I said, "That's fine as long as you give me the checks. I'm okay with it and I know that they will be honored on time." So we settled that issue amicably and we went back. And that story is something that I think nobody knows about, or we didn't talk about it to anybody. But time has passed nearly about 25, 30 years have passed, so it's a long gone story. And I think even if Mr. Vijay Lazarus hears about this, I'm sure he will forgive me for bringing out this story and this thing. But all said and done, the man is a man of good heart, good intentions. But sometimes in business, you get stuck and you have to explain to your seniors about what you've done and how you committed such a big price for a film which didn't work. And he did it on pure instinct because Bombay was a big success. So I don't blame him really for trying to get out of the deal. And if there was somebody weaker who would probably settle for maybe half the amount or one-fourth of the amount and close the story. But I was the person who was not doing it for love of money. I am basically a man of principle who's run his business on purely reputation and principle. And even when I left Bollywood in 2000 with my last film, which we'll talk about, was Jab Dil Kisi Pe Aata Hai with Tabu and Nagarjun. That's another story which we'll talk about how I got that film. And basically, the purpose of this, telling you this, is basically sometimes in life, and I have only gone by that, you stand on principles, you stand on certain things which you hold good, regardless of what it takes, and you stand on it and go by it. And I stood by it not on a money situation. I stood by it as a matter of principle, on a commitment, as something that I followed all my life, even today. And that is the reason why I did what I did. And that's what I wanted to convey to you, that even when I left Bollywood in 2000, when I came to Dubai, I had a, I walked away with such a clean reputation and name today. And today I have all the Bollywood friends of mine still in touch with me, even after 25 years of leaving Bombay. And they come to me, meet me, they come, I go to them, they meet me, we have parties, we get together. But they all have one thing to say, that, I'm not blowing my horn, but they say, Rajan, you left the industry with a lot of dignity, with a lot of respect and a great reputation. And that is what I have lived for and worked for all my life, is to live a reputation and a goodwill. And that is what I have lived by. And that's the reason why I told you this story of sometimes what happens in the music industry or film industry or even in your own business. And you have to handle that situation in a very tactful and a very diplomatic manner to solve the issue amicably. With that, I would like to end this episode, and I hope there's something that you all have learned and picked up in this, is that in the end, you work your life in any field you are in to live and have a reputation where people can not talk behind your back, this man cheated me, or this man shortcut me, or whatever he did, that he solved everything amicably and walked away with a clean face and a clean reputation. Thank you so much, viewers, for listening to me today. Thank you.